Good afternoon. Welcome to Faster Outcomes and MyAdvice's webinar, Revolutionizing Your Legal Practice, Unlock Efficiency and Growth with AI Technology. My name is Rachel Lemieux, and I manage the corporate marketing for MyAdvice, and I'm kicking things off today. We will be sending a copy of this recording out tomorrow, just in case you missed anything or want to share it with a coworker who couldn't be here. Our presenters today are Tim Sawyer, the EVP of Sales at Faster Outcomes, and Chad Erickson, VP of Strategy at MyAdvice. Chad manages both our sales and business development teams. He's one of the owners of MyAdvice and has been working with medical and legal practices on their digital presence for over 20 years. Tim at Faster Outcomes believes in the transformative power of technology to revolutionize industries and saw a huge opportunity with AI for legal practices to help them find, serve, and keep clients more effectively and profitably. And with that, I'll turn it over to Tim.
Thank you. So let's see if we can make a seamless transition here.
Yes.
And just a quick check. We look okay?
Looks great.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Rachel, and I appreciate Chad. Having known Chad a long time, and I had the pleasure of competing with Chad respectfully in aesthetic medicine for almost 10 years, and always had the utmost advice for MyAdvice. And if you work with MyAdvice, you're in a great spot. So I appreciate the time today. What we're going to talk about is AI and the legal space. And so the reason I'm opening up with this slide, that it all starts with belief, is my belief is this, that as I travel the country speaking with lawyers, law firms, practices of all different sizes, from single individual practitioner to the 20 lawyer, larger top 200 law firms, there is belief levels across the entire spectrum. Some of those belief levels are, there's no way that I'm going to get involved in AI. I don't understand it. It's too risky, all the way to fully implementing AI into all aspects of their practice. And today I want to try to address both ends of the spectrum. And so, like I said, the reason I say it all starts with belief, it does start with, do you actually believe that you can use artificial intelligence or large machine learning to help your practice become more efficient, more accurate, more productive, and more profitable? And if you believe that, then there's a high probability that your behavior will reflect that, because belief equals behavior. So what happens is, I have a belief system, I start to behave that way, I use this technology or anything in life, I build trust with it. And then once I have trust in it, I become proficient. And once I become proficient, then I become an expert. And that's where you get incredible results. So that theme, that it all starts with belief, really hit me the first time I heard that. So with that being said, today we're going to talk about introduction to AI in legal practice, basic tasks that you can use with AI. I find that if we break IA down to the most basic, simple tasks, that we can start to understand the difference between legal administration, meaning the blocking and tackling that you do, versus legal intelligence. Legal intelligence is where all the magic happens. We're going to talk about some best practices. Ethical considerations are seriously important, obviously, and a huge topic of discussion in all legal circles right now. We're going to talk a little bit about my company, Faster Outcomes, very briefly. This is not a commercial. This is more best practices from an educational standpoint. And then, of course, we want to talk about, once you've created some additional productivity through efficiency in your law firm, what can we do with MyAdvice to increase the quantity and quality of traffic to your website and phones? Rachel already mentioned our speakers. My name is Tim Sawyer. I'm a two-time Inc. 500 guy, love technology. And so want to start with a couple $1 million questions, right? Because what I hope to prove to you in the next 10 minutes or so is that you can, that belief system, you can use artificial intelligence to become more efficient, go faster, be more productive, and create an opportunity to do more law, the type of law that you want to do, right? Increase profit. So with the additional capacity to serve more clients, what specific types of cases or clients would you prioritize to maximize growth and impact? I want to plant that seed right now. Would it make sense to leverage AI to possibly expand into related fields of law? Because remember, AI is legal intelligence, right? So the ramp to go from, let's say, personal injury to employment is going to be a lot shorter by using artificial intelligence in your path to become a subject matter expert in both. So it's a great lever, right? How could MyAdvice's digital marketing, which is amazing, digital marketing solutions help you strategically fill that capacity with high quality and high value cases? We want to talk about that and how AI impacts that as well. And just think of the possibilities. My goal today is to open your mind to think of the possibilities when you combine AI and powerful digital marketing strategies. And now it's a perfect time of year. It's mid-November, right? 2025 is right around the corner. So perfect time of year to start that planning. So basic introduction, just kind of that we accept some universal principles, right? We know that AI is revolutionizing the legal industry. It's enabling firms to automate processes faster than ever before, more accurate than ever before, to make good data-driven decisions around the types of cases and the possible outcomes associated with those cases. Transforming legal workflows, reduces administrative burden, talk about that, increases productivity, and supports in-depth legal research. And then, of course, rapid adoption. I've looked at a lot of surveys in terms of the percentage of law firms and lawyers. There's about 1.6 million lawyers in the country who have adopted or contemplated adopting legal intelligence or artificial intelligence into their practice. And those numbers, those surveys range anywhere from 15 to 30, 35%. So it's still a relatively small number. Even if you look at the highest number from surveys, 65 to 70% of the legal industry has either not contemplated or not adopted AI into their practice, okay? And the goal, a fundamental principle of faster outcomes, and me personally, is I want every lawyer we engage in to understand that we are in no way suggesting that we are going to use AI to replace anybody in this field. We want to enhance. That's the key. Enhance, not replace. And then as a way to kind of understand how we can start using AI at the most basic level, let's just talk about emailing. And I'm going to talk to you about the two AI platforms, the two most popular platforms that folks use. One is called ChatGPT, and the other is called Claude. Both have a free service, both have a premium service. We're going to talk about both. On a personal level, one of the ways that I like to use AI in my everyday life is for emailing. As you all know, we receive and send tons of emails every day. And if I had a nickel for every minute, 2 minutes I spent writing, rewriting till I got the perfect email, I would have a lot of nickels. So one of the ways that you can use AI for emailing is get a free service with just ChatGPT, for example. You receive an inbound email, copy that text, paste it into AI, write a response, and you can actually tell it the tone. It can be friendly, it can be aggressive, it can be whatever you want. You tell AI how to respond to that email. And of course, just like Grammarly or other type of text correction methodologies or platforms, your AI instance will learn your tone. The more you use it, the more it will start to sound and think and speak like you. And think of how much time you could save by just cutting and pasting emails into ChatGPT or Claude to get the perfect response every time, right? How it works: input a prompt, enter follow-up email for client, and AI generates a structured draft. Tone adjustment: specify a tone for the email that is formal, friendly, and concise. All with what will tailor, the AI will tailor the communication preference. And the example is follow up after a client meeting. Use AI to draft a follow-up email summarizing key points and action items that desired tone in minutes. Stop wasting time. That's one way. Second way, obviously, is document review and editing. Lawyers have what we call the 56% problem, which is on average, 56% of legal assistant, paralegal, most lawyers, they'll spend that amount of time drafting routine documents that have been drafted hundreds, if not thousands of times before. We don't need to do that. right? So the benefits, let's say you have, most law firms have templates in forms, meaning you're doing an employment contract. It's the same employment contract every time. We don't need to reinvent the wheel, right? We can use AI. It's accurate, identifies typos, improves phrasing, and ensures consistency every time. And the more you use it, the smarter it gets. That's why it's called large machine learning. You're teaching your AI instance, okay? Time savings, speeds up review of lengthy legal documents and complex cases, and simplifies complex language without losing meaning. And it's funny, the first time I showed someone, I'll never forget the time I showed my wife, and I want to make sure I stay on time. I showed my wife how to use AI to write an employment contract. She had the aha moment, and she's never gone back. Now uses it for everything. So verify, upload a copy text, draft a contract. For a contract draft, AI can highlight, this is important, ambiguous language, suggest revisions, and verify compliance. Imagine having a legal assistant sitting over your shoulder all the time. And this is absolutely my favorite. I walked into a law firm last week, never spoke to them before, asked them if they had ever used or have contemplated using AI in the firm. And the woman at the front desk actually pulled out a tape recorder, showed me the physical tape recorder with the tape that the lawyer had done dictation into the tape, carried the machine or carried the tape to the front desk. She puts on her headphones, listens to that tape, and types those notes. Turns out that happens all the time. If you use AI, you could use a phone, create an audio file, download or upload that file into a paid version of ChatGPT or Claude, and get the same transcription you would get from an in-house legal assistant or paralegal with 90% accuracy. It's not gonna be perfect, but it's gonna be darn close, right? And think about during a consultation, use an audio file. It allows you to free up your mind, be 100% present with your client, and it's far more efficient than the way I just mentioned, right? So comparison of AI services, free versus premium. Free AI tools, there's no cost, suitable for basic tasks. All you need is an email and your name to sign up. Again, Claude and ChatGPT are the two instances of that. Cons, you have limited capabilities. It's less accurate with complex legal language, and you can get sometimes what's called a hallucination. A hallucination is, it's a pitch that went into the upper decks, right? Big miss, and you'll get that occasionally with free. Premium tools, advanced capabilities. For example, to create a PowerPoint, so if I was working on this PowerPoint today, I would enter all the text that I want in conjunction or in collaboration with my ChatGPT, and then literally hit create a 15-minute PowerPoint, and it will create the PowerPoint and upload that to my computer. Think about that. Just think about that, okay? Use free tools for general tasks, premium version for document review. And then here's the big leap, and I want to make sure we wind down on time. Legal administration, those are some of the things that I just showed you, right? The blocking and tackling. That's one use. The other is legal intelligence, okay? So legal administration is tasks and the benefits associated with that. Are you going to save time, improve a client response? Legal intelligence provides insight, case law research, predictive analysis, ensures accuracy, supports strategic decisions, and identifies trends. So here are the big takeaways, right? In blocking and tackling. Start small, get comfortable, build confidence, establish a belief system, always review your outputs, prioritize data security, set clear instructions when you're using prompts, and follow ethical guidelines, right? Avoid entering sensitive information. You definitely don't want to do that, because remember, if you're using a contaminated instance, it's open to the public, everybody can see it, and any information you put in there, people are going to find. You're an intelligent thinker, that's why you're an attorney. There's bias in some of the AI outputs. You want to pay attention to that, and remember that you're ultimately responsible. And so a couple of things real quick in the last 2 minutes that we have. There are premium services like Faster Outcome that are far more specific to make that leap from legal administration to legal intelligence, right? This is where all the money's going to be made, right? And all the client satisfaction. So imagine we've had a product called Knowledge, transforms your firm's historical data like forms, templates, communications, previous cases, contracts, and research into a powerful functional asset. It's like having another law partner, except it doesn't take naps, doesn't go to sleep, doesn't take days off, and it can organize and integrate this data, enables quick access to insights and resources, helping your team work more efficiently and leverage past work to strengthen current cases, right? Why premium services are better, data security, customized for you. It's your data. This isn't open to the public domain. This is a non-contaminated, self-contained instance, which is great for regulatory compliance, legal specific expertise, and think about the ability to do demand letter generation for my lawyer friends who are in PI. You've got a client collaborative intake process, document summarization, automates the draft of the demand letter, including the story, medical chronologies, all the W-2, all the financial information, everything you need, crash reports, police reports. At the click of a button, it can take a minute versus weeks, integrated timelines. We've already talked about knowledge. This was the problem that we were created with, and we'll finish with this. Imagine how having the ability, once you've uploaded all that IP in your firm, to have that functional partner answering general questions, generating drafts. You could chat with your research in real time, do analysis and compare cases to historical cases you've done, language retrieval, find relevant documents related to a medical receipt, enhance your research. It updates automatically, reviewing, flagging, and confirming document review based on historical work. This is a game changer, absolute game changer. Highly recommend it. And think about the ability to do executive summaries, group summaries, flat list summaries, matter summaries, all at the click of a button. Think about the possibilities, and I'll end with this. With the additional capacity to serve more clients, what specific types of cases or clients would you prioritize to maximize growth and impact? Would it make sense to leverage AI to expand into related fields? How can MyAdvice, Chad's coming up next, how can MyAdvice digital marketing solutions help you strategically fill that capacity by increasing the quantity and quality of traffic for high value cases to your firm? Think of the possibilities. Now is the perfect time. I really appreciate your time. And by the way, guys, for our friends on the personal injury side or anybody at all, if you're interested in having us run some documents through our platform at no cost, just to get a feel for it, please reach out. My contact information is connected. Thank you very much.
Tim, thank you so much. Gosh, where do you start, right? So, first of all, Tim, we've known each other for a long time, a long, long time. And when we reconnected about this, I was blown away because I see it, right? We, as a company, we're always thinking about efficiencies. We have to. Costs are rising. So how do we become more efficient? How do we help do things quicker, faster, better? Like you, I use ChatGPT every single day. And as I told you, earlier, I actually, my kids are in college. I have two of my kids, and I pay for a ChatGPT account for them. They don't use it to write all their stuff or to cheat. They use it because it helps them become more efficient. It helps them do things faster and better. And the reality is they have to learn how to use this because the workplace is going to demand that they have this. And what you're talking about, and I think we can maybe come back to this. I hope people are understanding what Tim means by a closed system. This is where it gets powerful. ChatGPT in and of itself is pulling information from the entire web and all these other pieces. But when you have your own instance that you close and it's just for you with everything you have, it's yours. It's only yours. Nobody else can see it. Nobody else can touch it. It's uncontaminated. That is where the power is. And if you're still not sure, you're like, whoa, I didn't understand this or know this, you should really talk to Tim, because what they have is going to make you more efficient. It's going to let you do more and increase your profits. And profitability is really where it's at. So anyway, thank you, Tim, for that. And hopefully I can add to that a little bit on the marketing side today, in just a few minutes. I am not looking I mean, what we're doing today is very, very high level. That's the reality. We know that there's so much to really cover for both of us, but hopefully what we're doing today is helping you think about things a little bit different, understand what's going on, what's changing in the world. This is talk about experience. Rachel mentioned 20 plus years that I have. I've actually been doing this for 25 plus years. Started this in the marketing side for medical and legal practices back in the late 90s. And coming up on my 25th wedding anniversary in 2 weeks, believe it or not. And was doing this before my wife and I got married and have continued to do it. Inc. 500, Inc. 5000, we've grown as a company over the years as well, which is a blast. But I want to talk today a little bit about what's really happening in the world of digital marketing, and this is important because things are always changing, and this is where when we talk to clients and prospects, they get frustrated. They say, "Gosh, Chad, how do we do this? How do we win?" And I tell them, it is frustrating. I get it. Um, Google is not your friend. Google, if you understand how this works, Google made um, in 2013, $66 billion, a lot of money. Last year, they made $300 billion. So if Google's making that money, and 90% of the revenue, by the way, comes from paid ads, how do we succeed? How do you, as a business owner, whether your practice is small or large, how do you compete with that? So I kind of throw the flag on this, right? So, okay, wait a second, what's going on? So first of all, understand Google's main motivation is to make money. At the end of the day, they want you to be successful. They need you to be successful as long as you follow their rules. They're the bully. They're going to create the rules, they're going to change the rules. And so you have to ask yourself, well, what are the rules? And if they're changing, how do I stay on top of this? That's what we're here to do. Here to help you navigate what all those rules are. And Google's put out their latest update almost 2 years ago, and it's called the Helpful Content Update. They're saying, listen, we don't want a bunch of garbage out there. What you provide needs to be informational. It needs to be accurate. It needs to help. And with AI coming on, you can use AI with your content, but you need to be careful with it and how you do that. But it can be a very powerful tool. But you have to understand conversions and link building and your reviews and all these things that play into it. Interestingly enough, one of the things, an advantage we have of being a large firm that's been around for a long time is we work with Google very closely. We have insights to them, we get to talk to them, and they share a lot of data with us. And you think about them being one of the, if not the largest data aggregator that's in the world, they're able to take this data of all the ways that the consumers are searching online, and then coming back and saying, Chad, they said to us, they said, let me tell you what is happening, what consumers are looking for in legal practices. I said, I'd love to know. They said, great. Well, here it is. They said, consumers want things now. The immediacy has to be there. Consumers want to feel empowered. This can be frustrating. You can sometimes feel like they're already coming to me. They think they know the answers. They've done some research online, and suddenly they feel like they're an attorney. They're like, what do you need me for? Well, see it as this, maybe a reframing of understanding if this prospect, this potential client is seeing you, it's your turn to just get on the same side of the table as them. Help them understand, help them feel heard, and then help them understand what they have is good and where you actually are adding to that. And again, just let them be part of the process. That's what they're looking for. But they also want to be easy. Easy is critical to what's going on. And you can do that, especially with AI today. So again, understanding the consumer mindset, now empowered and easy. With that said, what we're trying to do with my advice is to make it as easy as possible for you to understand what's happening in the marketing world today. And I'll tell you, I'm breaking this down quickly, but it still starts with your website. Your website is still the foundation. Whether they hear about you from word of mouth, an online search, whatever it is, the first thing they do is go to your website. They want to see what else is out there, what you do. They want to validate what they've heard about you. And that's what they're going to use often to contact you. Additionally, you need to make sure that you're found in the local search, your local maps. This is your local SEO. This is your bread and butter. This is where it comes together. They need to be able to see that. The next is your reviews. Your reviews continue to build. It's others speaking about you. And this is critical to your success. You need to have a strategy in place that is not only notifying you if there are good or bad reviews about you online. More importantly, you need a strategy to continuously be getting those good reviews to go on to, especially Google, where people can see those. Next is your social media. And you might be thinking, I hate social media. I never want to touch it. It's a waste of my time. Well, whether you want to or not, this is where they are. This is where they're searching. This is where the consumers are. So you need to meet them at their level. We understand it can be a challenge for you. What we're doing is we've created software that allows you to have the scheduling. You don't have to go out to another platform. It's all here. It's all, and same with the reputation and local. Everything's in one place. Makes your life easier. On top of that, we create content for you. We post for you 4 times a week on Facebook and Instagram. We certainly want you to augment that and add your own stuff, but we get it. We know that you're busy. But if you don't, just know that we're taking care of that for you. Then it comes into your search engine optimization. This is that helpful content update. This is what Google's looking for. And having a very robust content strategy is going to help you move up the rankings. This is where you can beat your competition and really differentiate. But at the end of the day, they're pushing for this. They want that paid search. This is where they make money. But if done right, this is where you can make money. It's not uncommon for a lot of the practices that we're working with to be spending upwards of $5,000 a month. I've got clients in the legal space spending close to $50,000 a month. Some are more. Actually, I have one that's much more than that. It doesn't matter how much they spend. It matters what your ROI is. So for this one practice in New York that's spending $40,000 a month, their return on investment every single month is between $400,000 and $500,000. So when you can get a 10x return on your ROI, again, top line, that's fine. Still, that's a huge number. And they know that if they spend more than that, it doesn't really bring them more. They know if they drop down to about 30,000, they see a decline. So they found a sweet spot, and we've worked with them over time to get there. So it can be very, very powerful at finding the right business and helping to drive that. But again, your website, and I'll just talk about this for a minute. Your website is still your foundation. I was at a conference not too long ago and was talking to this attorney and I'll tell you, I loved it. I said, we got talking and I said, hey, tell me about your practice, what's going on. And he said, Chad, he said, look, I'm the best in my town. I get the best outcomes. I win more cases. I'm the guy that they come to. If nobody else, when the car, the chips are stacked against them, they come to me. I'm the one that wins the cases. I said, great. And I actually love that approach. I don't want to go to someone who's mediocre. And I said, so tell me what you're doing with your marketing. Where are you strong? He said, I said, there's some holes in my schedule. I'd like to actually fill those up. We could be busier. I could really take on more. I said, great. I said, well, what are you doing with your marketing? We went through everything. He said, yeah, I've got the billboards. I've got some of the radio and TV ads. I got all this stuff. I said, okay. I said, do you mind if we take a look at your website? He said, yeah, sure. And we pulled up his website and I'm like, well, I know what your problem is. I'm like, he's like, what? I'm like, you just got done telling me you're the best, that you have the best outcomes. You're the one they come to. I went to your website. Your website just told me that you're mediocre. Your website looks so outdated. Why would I go to you? Have you kept up on anything recent? Do you really know what's going on in the world today? And I said, what you're conveying and the message you're sending out is that you're really not up to date with things. You're not connecting with the audience. People are making an impression about you, and it's not matching what they're hearing. So they're going to go look somewhere else. And he's like, oh my gosh, you're right. And we went into that and understanding again, why do we focus on the website? Because it's the first impression. And first impressions are critical to people's decision making, subconsciously and consciously. So it starts with that. When you think about a great website, and this is one of our clients, Client Spectre out of Philadelphia, but the website is there. It has to attract new clients, right? It has to have that modern look to it. It needs to add confidence that, wow, this is the group, this is the powerful, this is what they've done. Hey, if they can do that for somebody else, well, they can do it for me. And that's the mentality that you want to share with others. You want to convey a strong message. So that professionalism has to be there. So I don't have time to go through all these pieces. Love to talk to you at some point and help you understand all the details of these and how they can impact you. We do this for a lot of people, but at the end of the day, we're here to help you and help you grow and succeed. So with that, let me stop sharing what I've got and we can open it up to any questions we have.
None have come through just yet. Thank you guys both so much for your time and sharing. I think this was just a good enlightenment of how AI and digital marketing, how it all kind of works together. to grow your legal practice. Again, I will be look for an email from me. I will be sending out the recording. In that, I will include both Tim and Chad's contact information. So if you want to reach out, you can reach out to them. If you missed that, you can reach out to me. I will get you in touch with whoever you need. Thank you, everyone, so much for your time today.
Rachel, sorry, before we leave, I know we're kind of, but we can go over a little bit. Tim, will you put up your last slide again with the questions? I'd like to go into these just a little bit more.
Sure.
I think we got a little time. People listen. If they want to, if they got to jump off, they got to jump off. But
Sure, let's do it.
we don't need to rush completely. I think this is important, and I want to go through these again because the efficiencies in a practice, of what they have is so critical. And thinking about that, so slide 20 on the $1 million questions.
Got it.
So I think one of the fears, Tim, that I was talking to our attorney not too long ago, and I said, "How are you using AI in the practice?" He said, "We're not really. Sometimes I help. I do a few things. You talked about the block and tackling, right?
Yeah.
Some of the mundane tasks, they're great, easy use on the administrative side." And we got into a discussion about the intelligence side, and he said, "We're scared." He said we're nervous because we're not sure about it. We're still trying to feel this out. How do you, with what you're doing with Faster Outcomes, help them overcome the fear that exists and understanding that how AI has just changed over the last few years and how it's evolving now? But maybe let's talk to the fear factor for just a second.
That is a great question. And, Rachel and I were talking a little bit about before we got started. And what's interesting is, so she had asked the question, are you noticing that there's a larger cohort of younger lawyers attracted to what you do? And believe it or not, the firms that we're starting with now, these are well-established firms. They've been around a long time. They're thinkers, right? So they've been looking at AI. So this one particular case that we're working on now, 14 lawyers in the firm, Dallas-based, and I have known them a long time. So there was a little bit of a barrier breakdown because there was some trust, there was a relationship there. And they said, "Tim, we have 20 emails that we've saved that we've been solicited to use some forms of AI. We keep looking at this, and we're not sure, right?" And we were able to. You have to speak to the fear and have to understand what is it that you're concerned about. And their primary concerns are two. One is what's the possibility of a data breach, right? So in other words, you're going to take all their data that's in this now very controlled environment, some server somewhere, and you're going to move it into something that's unknown. Well, the reality is that the security features that we provide far exceed, in many cases, their 15-year-old Citrix-based platform that they're on. And my CTO, it was so funny. Under his breath, he kind of mumbled, "You understand, I could hack this whole thing right now, right?" Inside voice.
Sure,
and,
right.
So it has come a long way. So one is obviously some type of data security. That's the biggest, and then accuracy, right? And so when we speak to the accuracy point, we're not advocating. Nobody is advocating that we should rely 100% on artificial intelligence for the 100% output. Quite the opposite, in fact. There's a case where a lawyer got in trouble. He used AI for the entire pleading, and he's in a jam, right? And so we're not advocating for that. So what we suggest, particularly when it comes to, if you're talking about basic document drafting, right? A demand letter. A demand letter is the vehicle used by a private personal injury attorney to make a demand on an insurance company that says, "Hey, based on the injuries, based on his future earnings, based on or hers, we want $56,000, and if you don't pay us, we're going to go to court," right? And you need to write a compelling demand letter. Well, if you think about our ability to do that, we like to talk about that in the 80-10-10 realm. 80% of that is let's use large machine learning or artificial intelligence to do all the things we need to do, right? Summarize the documents, put them in the right form, create a powerful demand that makes sense. It tells a compelling story based on domestic things that he or she could do, but now can't. So the softer part of the story is really important in a powerful demand. 10% is our legal team will do a review to make sure that it's correct. It's legally correct, it's grammatically correct, it looks the way it's supposed to. But that last 10%, Chad, that's you. That's the lawyer.
Yes.
Saying, you know what? This is my voice, this is my tone, this is our brand, it meets our standards of excellence, and then fire off the demand letter. So I think it would be reckless and irresponsible to approach any law firm, whether it's 10 lawyers or one person or a paralegal, to say, hey, we got you, right? We got you to a point. Most research will show that artificial intelligence can get to about a 90% accuracy rate, which interestingly enough, if you do the same research on humans, it's a close race.
Yeah.
And one of the competitors is learning faster than the other ones. And
Yes.
so those are the big issues, right? Is do I have secure data? And am I going to get an accurate output? Because lawyers by nature, they're risk averse,
Yep.
right? They're advocates.
Yes.
By nature, they want to do right by their client. And so those are the issues that we spend a lot of time talking about. But to your point, the technology has come so far, so fast. It's an arms race right now. You've got occasions where you've got machines teaching machines. And then the last point I want to make is there's a new kind of way of thinking about AI, and it's kind of like thinking about lawyers, right? So it's called agentic frameworks. So if you've got two lawyers, one who's 26 and one who's maybe got a lot more experience, one of those is going to know more than the other by virtue of the fact that they've been doing this longer, right? Well, agentic frameworks are kind of the same thing. It's based on the amount of inputs that you've invested into that agent to make it smarter than an agent with less inputs, right? And when you understand that that's the nature of machine learning, is it's constant prompts, more data that goes into it, more case law, more contracts, more outcomes, the more predictable it becomes. And I find that when you have that conversation in a reasonable tone, that most people get it. Does it eliminate all the fear? No. Do we still talk to people who go, listen, man, I'm going to Florida in 2 years. I have no interest in that.
Sure.
But the kids who grew up on ChatGPT, they're at a different place. They're in their late 20s and they've got law school bills and they're trying to use it themselves, right? And that's good, but there's also some risk in that because something can go wrong in the public domain. Hope that makes sense.
No, it totally does. And I appreciate you answering, because I think that as I was talking to our attorney, I thought I think it's a reasonable ask. They are risk averse, and so they're trying to understand this, and it's so new, and it can be so nuanced. And so what you said is very powerful. So again, if you're looking for help with either your marketing or to become more efficient in your business on various levels, let us know. Call me, call Tim. We're here to help you. We're here to guide you. And if we can help you and along the way, you're like, yeah, we can work together. Great. If not, we can help you. That's what we're here to do. We're here to lift everybody and make it a better spot. So thank you. So Rachel, sorry, I interrupted you, but we'll go ahead and wrap up, and thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, you did a great job. Thanks. Yeah. So again, we'll be sending out the recording tomorrow with both everyone's contact information. And with that, reach out with either Tim or Chad with any questions, or myself, and I will get you in touch with them. And enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Thank you so much.
Will do.
Thanks, everybody.
Go MyAdvice. Thank you, guys.
Hey, thanks,
Appreciate
Tim.
it.
Appreciate
Have a great
you.
day.
Bye now.
Yeah.